Hello, 7th graders. Mr. Dayton here, about to read to you pages 246 and 247, along with questions 1 through 8 on page 247 for our next textbook assignment. So, again, that's 246 and 247, and we can get right into it. It is lesson 10-8, How do animal embryos develop? How do animal embryos develop? Our objective is to recognize how the development of mammals differs from that of other animals. Key terms: egg, female reproductive cell; sperm, male reproductive cell; fertilization, joining of the nuclei of the male and female reproductive cells; and gestation. That is the time it takes an embryo to fully develop inside its mother's body. So let's begin with the first section titled Water Animals. Most fish and amphibians lay their eggs in water. An egg is a female reproductive cell. The male animal deposits sperm on the eggs. Sperm are male reproductive cells. The union of a sperm cell nucleus and an egg cell nucleus is called fertilization. Only one sperm cell joins with each egg. In these animals, the eggs are fertilized outside the female's body. After fertilization, the embryo begins to develop inside the egg. Remember, the egg is outside the female's body. The embryo uses food stored in the egg. And here is a picture of salmon eggs. Moving on to land animals. The eggs of reptiles, birds, and mammals are fertilized inside the body of the female. In some animals, such as snakes and birds, the eggs develop a shell after fertilization and are then laid. The embryos develop in the eggs outside the body of the female. The embryo uses the food stored in the egg. You know the food as the yolk. Okay, and then here is a picture of a snake developing in an egg coming out of the egg with a leathery shell. Okay, then we have embryo development in mammals. In all mammals, fertilization takes place inside the body of the female or mother. Monotremes are the only mammals that lay eggs. Marsupials and placental mammals do not. In these mammals, the embryo develops inside the mother's body. Most mammals give birth to living young. Here is a kangaroo embryo developing in its mother's pouch. And here we go. The time it takes for an embryo to fully develop inside its mother's body is called gestation. Gestation periods are different for different types of animals. The gestation period of a dog is 9 weeks. The gestation period of a human is 9 months. An elephant's gestation period is 22 months. So almost 2 years. And let's go to embryo nutrition. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, embryo nutrition. The embryos of placental mammals get their food from the mother through the placenta. Digested food and oxygen from the mother's blood pass into the bloodstream of the embryo. The embryo uses this food and oxygen for growth and development. Waste substances produced by the embryo pass into the mother's blood. These wastes are then excreted from the mother's body together with her own waste products. So that is all of the reading, and we'll move on to the questions, which of course you should be answering in complete sentences in your science notebook. Here we begin with checking concepts. What is an egg? What is an egg? That was one of the key terms we talked about right away. So an egg is blank. Number 2, what are sperm? What are sperm? Again, one of our key terms. Sperm are blank. 3, what is fertilization? What is fertilization? Another one of our key terms, you could say fertilization is blank. Number 4, what is an embryo? What is an embryo? An embryo is blank. Okay. Number 5, where does an embryo that develops inside an egg get its food? Where does an embryo that develops inside an egg get its food? An embryo that develops inside an egg gets its food from, insert your answer here. Number 6, where do the embryos of placental mammals get their food? Where do the embryos of placental mammals get their food? The embryos of placental mammals get their food from blank. Insert your answer. Number 7, where do the embryos of most mammals develop? Where do the embryos of most mammals develop? Key term is most. Okay, and then we have number 8, contrast. How is the development of the embryos of most animals different from the development of a mammal embryo? How is the development of the embryos of most animals different from the development of a mammal embryo? So you could say something like, the development of the embryos of most animals is different from the development of mammal embryos because, and explain how they are different, how mammal embryos and other animal embryos are different. Okay? All right, that is that. That's 1 through 8 on page 247. That was pages 246 and 247, and that is our textbook assignment. So record those answers in complete sentences in your science notebook, and best of luck to you.